Hello, it's Mark Powell here again, saying hi to everyone on week, I believe, 5 this week. And what we're doing is we're taking a look at two different um, online tools that we can use. And well, this is my first one. And what it is www.stopdisastersgames.org. Now, I know that we've had some very big disasters lately, so I just want to harp on the fact that hopefully everybody down in Houston are doing okay, and also in Puerto Rico that was hit pretty hard. But this does draw directly into um, my engineering classes, and the engineering classes I teach are principles of engineering and also civil and architectural engineering. And what we found from Katrina is that civil and architectural engineers have a very key important role to play, especially when it comes to um, disasters, how we build things, and also the science behind it. So for my class, I thought this would be a very interesting activity for my students to look and think about. The class that I created and what I am creating through our Module 2 is a blended class in which we have online and in classroom activities. Basically just the online supporting and supplementing my in-classroom model. So this would be something that my students would do. And so let's get to it in terms of a few things. First of all, this is, if you're wondering about this, if this is asynchronous or synergist, it depends on if your classmates are in the class with you at this time or if you're doing this at home. Now, the way that you actually are able to make a social presence is and create an atmosphere is actually challenging your students. And right here is a way that you can easily challenge your students in terms of the different high scores that people have. Also, this would be, if you're looking at table 5.3, this would be immersive and quest-based learning. What we found through a lot of research lately is actually that students, because they play so many video games, they actually have been responding well to individuals playing games, so to actual game scenarios. And so in my class, we do use a game scenario, which I've talked about before in one of our other modules, but this is something else to supplement it. Virtual 3D world, game, simulation, and that's what this really is to simulate. So let's get into the actual game itself. So what this is basically you click play game, and then you hit the launch. Now this is a free simulation. It's kind of like I guess Minecraft in a sense, or a building up of a city. And so basically what we have here is we have play game instructions or send to a friend. So let's play the game. Let's click on play the game. And so we're said different scenarios: tsunami, hurricanes, which we saw down south, earthquake, wildfire like we're seeing out west right now, but also flooding, and this is one of the main times where we saw with Katrina down in New Orleans. But for this one, let's click on earthquake. So if we click on the earthquake, it gives us 3 different difficulty: easy, medium, and hard. That's just the size of the map. Now when we click on this, it analyzes the interface, and because this is all touchscreen, not touchscreen, but it's all touchable. So basically you're able to touch every square. So, and then the mission introduction comes up. It says that we have over 400 people that we need to try to help out and save. You can protect as many people, buildings, and livelihoods as you can with the possible earthquake coming. So you're trying to create accommodations for 600 people. I'm sorry, 600. And you have to renovate at least 10 old buildings. But what you have is, you only have a certain set of resources. You have $50,000 in about 25 minutes to actually, pardon me, set this up. So this would fit very easily in a time frame of class. and it's very, very interactive. So let's close this mission introduction. Let's take a look here. Now, what we have here is a wide map. Down the bottom, we have different areas of this map that we can take a look at. And so basically, if I bring this over, and I'm going to take a look at this section over here, let's take a look at that. What we see is that we have different houses, we have sand, and also different buildings here. And what we take a look at are, these are apartments. And what you can see here is that the occupancy is, let's take a look at the info, that these apartments hold a large number of people that should be well constructed and protected. Now, as of right now, the risk of demolishment is 95%, and it can house 12 people. So, what you can do is actually upgrade this house. And actually, these are real things. So basically, in real life, you would actually, as an engineer, look to do these as renovate a house. So you building repair, so just upgrading the building and repairing the building. Retrofit the building. So let's take a look at this. All right, so basically taking a look at seismic resistant structures. So basically what we talk about in civil engineering is out west on the West Coast, there are seismic buildings that are seismic resistance, where they have a lot more sway and flow to them. And that actually helps them survive earthquakes, especially in San Francisco. And so basically what we have here is that the building is more resistant to disasters. And if we do click on this and we say, okay, this will drop the risk from 95% down to 75%. So that's just one of the things that we can do. Now, second thing that we can do here is we can then take a look at secure fittings. And these are actually really important. I talk about them in my CEA class as well, my civil and architectural class, because actually secure fittings is very important for the structure, not only out west for when you're having earthquakes, but also when you have hurricanes and when you have high winds. So basically it stabilizes the house and it doesn't allow as much movement inside the actual structure. So like these would go onto studs on the bottom of studs, and it would go down from the sole plate, which is the bottom, and then it would connect to the stud, and it's this metal fixture, metal fitting. And so basically these are used in real life, and I believe that this would show to students, hey, we actually do use these, even though it says here 5% decrease, but every little bit counts. And then finally, another thing that you always have to take a look at is protecting electronics. And basically what this deals with, and it's something else that we talk about, is that, well, free wiring, basically what happens, can start a fire, and it causes buildings to collapse because of fire. So how do you prevent collapse of buildings and fires? Well, you can just take that out by protecting electronics. Now what you have is you have certain monies down here, you have a budget, and then the population in which you're trying to get all sheltered. But here we have down to the right hand side the difficulty, the disaster you're working with, and also the probability. So this is more like just a timeline. So basically once it goes all the way to the right, what will happen is that it will then the earthquake will come, and it will cause destruction. And so basically you'll see how well your preparations did. Let's see if I'm forgetting anything else here. So basically, to summarize this, it is a immersive and quest-based learning that would be taking place either in a class or at home. It does have the ability for a social presence and building a community, because you're trying to test yourself against other people, seeing who has the best score, who did the best thing, and then you actually get the class back and you can talk to the people who had a good score and said, hey, what did you do? And talk to people who didn't have a good score and say, hey, do you see what you could have done differently, and what different types of things work the best, and what things actually don't help out that much at all. So that will be the first one, first screencast. Hopefully everybody enjoyed that, and have a good day.